Hello and welcome to Flashback Generations, episode 5.
Hello.
Today, Pete and Si, and Les the car, we are going to be talking about the Tusken Raider, everyone's favourite sand person.
Yeah.
Is that politically correct?
Sand person, yeah.
Sand person, yeah.
Well, they always were sand people, weren't they? They were never sand men.
Oh, stop being so racist.
They're animals.
That's
The men, the women, the children, they're all animals. I slaughtered them all.
Quoting there someone.
Oh, sorry, I went prequel, didn't I? Sorry.
Let's jump into them then.
Punch to the face.
So we've got the grey card up first. Pete, do you want to run through them?
Right, Grey Tusken Raider. So you get 2 of these guys on a card. The faction is Scum and Villainy. Why, I don't know. I was to hold my hand up and complain there.
What?
Well, Tusken Raiders are Tusken Raiders. They don't affiliate with bounty hunters, in the movies or anything. Anyway, 5 points for this card. You get 2 of the guys. Reinforcement cost 2, which has very little effect in Skirmish, apart from the odd thing. Okay, so he's got health 4, so bog standard man health. Speed 4, bog standard speed. Defense 1 black dice, bog standard. He's only got a melee attack or close combat attack, which is okay, because he's not got a gun, and he's got a red and a green dice, which is interesting. So big damage on the red, and kind of a middling dice with the green.
Green does everything. It does have short range. It's got.
Is it the melee dice? The secondary combat dice, yeah.
It's got quite a lot of damage. So
okay.
A green red, I think, is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and his surges are weaken, which is the condition. Now, because it's a condition, as per the rules, and me and Si had a raging debate about this, spending a whole day. You need to do a damage in order to use this surge ability at all. So it's weaken, which kind of nullifies. While you're weakened, you're a bit rubbisher. You do like 1 less surge, and you get 1 less surge cancel while you're defending.
Can I moan about weaken now?
Weaken is weak, yeah.
I think that obviously I haven't play tested this or anything, but what I don't like about weaken is it should be a condition that you need to spend an action to get rid of.
Yeah, it just goes away because it's so weak. It's a weaken.
So what weaken does is while people are attacking you, you are -1 surge evade, and while you're attacking, you are -1
surge. Yeah.
But I think it should cost you an action to get rid of that weaken card, because it's
an irritant, isn't it? It's just irritating. It's what it says on the tin. It's weaken, and it is weak itself as well. It's not.
My problem about weaken is, as a condition, it's the weakest of all of the conditions.
Yeah. It's not massive, but it's better than nothing, I guess. +1 damage would be nicer for him, but what he's got as well is Surge Cleave 1, and that's the one where if you whack somebody, and Cleave is not a condition, so you don't inherently need to do a damage to activate it, but Cleave itself specifies that you have to do a damage to activate it, so that little rules quirk for you there. But if you whack somebody and do a damage, you can do automatically 1 damage on somebody else you could have attacked instead.
Legally attacked.
Yeah, so it can be you whack somebody in front of you and there's somebody stood right behind you, you can cleave him 1.
Yeah.
His habitat is desert. Habitat, is that a campaign thing, Si?
Habitat is nothing, yeah, because in campaign mode, the habitat means that you have to have desert maps.
That's right.
To actually have this guy on the map.
Yeah, the Imperial player can only pick this as an open group if you're playing on a desert. Fair enough. And his big special action is Tusken Cycler. So he's got a cycler rifle. Perform a shooting attack using 1 blue and 1 red die. You cannot use abilities during this attack, so you can't shoot somebody and then cleave the guy, or cleave somebody else you could have shot. You can't shoot somebody with this gun and weaken them. You can just shoot them.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So he's got the keyword brawler, which we'll get to with the cards, because that affects the command cards. So 5 points for 2 of these, so they're 2.5 points each in theory.
I'm a fan.
You like them?
I'm a fan. Yeah, I think that their long range attack is just as good as their close range in a way. Yeah, if they don't need to, if you need to just have a pop with them, they're actually pretty good to do that.
Blue and red is cheeky. It's got a medium range because you get a very little range off the red and a little bit of range up to 5 off the blue.
Range is 0. It has no range.
Accuracy, I should say.
Red has no range. And blue has a lot. Blue has a lot. At least 2.
At least 2 and maximum 5, I think. So it's not massively long distance, but you can't now be right in saying, Si, you cannot shoot your cycler and then whack somebody who stood next to you with your melee weapon, because that counts as 2 attacks, right?
Oh yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
No, but I'm saying that their close combat attack is, well, it's red green, so the green dice instead of the blue dice is obviously a lot more damaging.
Yeah.
And then you don't obviously need range or whatever. But I'm saying that the blue, the option of just having a ranged shot is great.
I'm worried about these guys because they're only health 4 and they've got 1 black die. So I think because they can shoot a short range, but they're basically running up to people, aren't they, to try and shoot them. Now on some maps that will be great because they can dash around corners and whack people. But in other maps, or if you're not careful about your positioning, these guys are going to get gunned down before they can achieve very much.
Oh god, yeah. These guys they're not as cannon fodder as the stormtroopers.
No, but you only get 2 for 5, don't you? So
you know what? They're not far off.
You get 4 for 10. In other words, yeah. Look, I'd want to see. I want to try them out for a bit, and see how they go and what's the best way of using them. I've not got the experience on these guys.
So what do you think of them against versus the red?
So look at the red.
Brothers.
Look at the red now. This is a lot more interesting straight away at first glance because it goes up 2 points to 7 points for 2 red Tusken Raiders. Now they've got 7 health, so that's plus 3 health each. That's 6 health extra on the card for 2 points.
So there's 14 versus 8.
That's big increase in health.
That's a massive jump, yeah.
Same speed 4, same defense, same melee attack, same Tusken cycler. He's got his cleave, surge ability cleave 1. He's got his weaken, and he's got automatically all the time +1 damage.
+1 damage. How interesting is that?
That is way better, yeah.
I find that they're interesting that they don't have a second ability. Most cards, when you look at them, a red card will have an extra ability on top of a grey card.
Yeah.
This is one of the first cards, well, I've noticed at least, that didn't. That he had the same thing. The +1 damage is absolutely massive, I think. That, guaranteed, he's pretty much guaranteed to hit something.
Yeah, if he's in melee he does, because you can't use abilities during his shooty attack.
He's also got 7 health, and that is going to keep him.
Well, that means they're more likely to get there.
They're gonna live. The other guys are gonna run in. The grey guys are gonna run in, hit something and die.
Yeah.
The red guys probably are gonna run in, hit something, get hit back, but live. And then whoever your opponent is can't just afford to let them live again.
No, they're kind of like the close combat version of the old traditions, aren't they? They're quite rude actually, because they can zoom along 8 without any help from cards or anything, and do this big melee attack, and with the +1 damage. I mean, that's one of these guys could swing out a lot of damage. What is it? 3 on the red dice, 3 on the green, and +1. So that's maybe 7 damage.
Yeah.
Is it up to 7 damage?
Yeah.
With a good roll. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I actually really like the red ones. I think the red ones in this instance actually win.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them with the rest of their factions. Now, at the moment, the Scum faction seems to be full of semi-elite heroes, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, you got the bounty hunters, haven't you? Basically, the RG, Bobber, Dengar.
Taking up a lot of points. So, what I found is people tend to take Scum, and they will have one of their favourite, whichever hero, IG or Dengar or whoever. And these guys end up having to support them. Now, a big reason that people take the grey card is because they're actually better objective takers. If you fill up your list with loads of stuff that is expensive and goes around killing, then these guys aren't as necessary to do it. And you get the hired guns as well, have to do the same thing, but they don't do it as well as these guys.
No, because they just evaporate, don't they, under a stiff breeze?
The
hired guns, yeah.
Spoiler alert, next episode,
Yeah.
we get to talk about them. But so the red ones, they're kind of expensive. I find when you got Scum and you want your 3 bounty hunters, you start getting shy on points very quick.
Yeah.
And your options start becoming, should I get 2 units of the 5, or do I just get like the Tusken Raiders and one dog or whatever?
Yeah,
So,
the next two cat.
It turns very difficult to afford 7 points. 7 points for supporting characters as well is just it's quite a big ask, because if you don't have a specific plan for these guys, they're actually quite hard to put in your list.
Yeah.
The brawler keyword as well in Scum isn't the easiest one to use, because Scum at the moment seem to have quite a lot of mixed bag of things going on. There's lots of droids
There's droids, beasts, creatures.
And creatures.
Yeah, the only thing they're missing is vehicles, I think, at the moment, and troopers.
So if they start getting some more kind of brawler orientated keywords, they might find their way into a lot more lists.
Yeah.
But as it is, I think that they're the last pick in a way.
Yeah.
But not that they're bad, but just that they're generic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, is it an army of Tusken Raiders? Will that work at all? I don't think it would. If you got 4 grey ones for 10 points, that's what, 16 life, a lot of damage coming out.
You could put 20 points.
Yeah, you could have 4 cards, couldn't you?
20 points of them.
It'd be mad.
14 on them.
It'd be madness.
So you could max them up.
That's super themey. I think it would shock a lot of people actually. Just if you should sheer brute, rush. It's kind of an orc army, isn't it? Really. You just run at people screaming and hope you wipe them out before they shoot you down. Basically.
I don't think they'll do it. I don't. Oh. If you did that, then you're gonna be full of brawler cards. So
yeah.
Then.
Which generally kind of speed you up to get used to the fight and increase your damage, don't they?
I think we have to try this at some point.
And,
somehow feedback the results of no, it's rubbish or absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But as it stands today, this is up to the hot release. They find it hard to find their way into a list and be.
Of course, they are getting
successful.
I mean, it's future, but they're getting their Bantha, aren't they, soon? So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thematically, the Bantha belongs with the Sand People, doesn't it?
Cool. Let's go on to the skirmish upgrades then. So first off, we've got Close the Gap. This is 2 points, and you can only have 1 in your command deck. Use at the start of a round. Each of your brawlers may move up to 1 space.
Depends how many brawlers you got, how much value you can get out of it.
It's almost an absolutely necessary card if you've got loads of brawlers.
Yeah.
Because your opponent obviously sits there calculating. Oh, you can move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Using all Wookiees, for instance, a Wookiee list which has all brawlers.
Yeah.
People will sit there counting 1, 2, 3, 4, so they'll stand 5 places away from you, so you can't go near you.
Yeah.
As soon as you produce this card, your opponent's face will drop. For 2 points, it's well worth it. But the big caveat is you have to have enough brawlers in your list to be worth it, and they have to be threatening.
Yeah.
If you're just taking 2 grey Tusken Raiders and they move 1 square, whatever, no one cared. No one cared, and your opponent looks at you funny because you've spent 2 points on this card that is doing jack all.
Being shame on the family, yeah, definitely.
You need to really be aware that this is a very, very brawler orientated card. It's great, but you need to really plan it. It also happens at the start of a round, so your opponent is aware of what you've just done, so they can actually still counteract it. So I still think it's quite expensive for 2 points, and it's only 1 square. So there's a lot of pre-planning you have to do for this card to actually work, or rather, your opponent would have to be very sloppy to get the jump on you.
Yeah. So what's just out of interest side? What does 2 red Wookiees cost on a card?
2 red Wookiees?
Yeah.
Isn't it
more than 7? Yeah.
11 or something?
Yeah. Okay. So the Wookiees are going to get way more use out of it, aren't they?
Definitely. Definitely. The Wookiees.
They do so much more. Okay.
Yeah. So Close the Gap. I'm a little on the fence for this. I think it's expensive for 2 points.
I mean, Vader can make use of that, can't he?
Yes, he can.
And the Royal Guard champ. So, couple. I mean, it's 1 space on 1 character maybe, but if you're struggling for a card to put in, it's depends on what brawlers you're taking really.
If I had a brawler only list, this would be the first card in my deck.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But at the same time,
we've not done that yet.
That's a rarity to be planning that hard.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit. This to me would be on the sideboard all the time. Right, we'll go on to the next card. We have Cripple. This is for a brawler or hunter. It's 2 points again, and you can have one in your command deck. This costs 1 action, and choose an adjacent hostile figure until the end of the round. That figure cannot voluntarily exit its space.
Nice. Yeah. I like that because it's themey. You know, it's they've pinned somebody down or whatever it is. Very bounty hunter-esque sort of skill, or maybe you just sat on him if he's a brawler and you're not going anywhere. So that can stop something that's in trouble escaping, or it can stop something that's a massive threat to somebody else from going and doing its thing.
I think that this is going to come into the game more. You're right though. Imagine Luke Skywalker. You pin Skywalker. You pin Skywalker down, so you can't even use his, you know.
So Skywalker will kill the figure that does this, but if it's a Grey Tusken Raider, who cares, you know? And suddenly Luke Skywalker's not running off and smashing Boba Fett in the face, or whoever it happens to be.
It's kind of a funny.
Now, interesting. It's choose an adjacent hostile figure. So I'm suddenly thinking of your General Vice and ATSTs. You can suddenly slow down any figure in the game with that, or stop.
Yeah, you can hit.
So you can stop that tank going around a corner or whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit sacrificial though, to a large degree.
Yeah, because you're suddenly stuck with a tank in your face or a Luke Skywalker in your face or whatever. But depending on what's going on and where you need or don't need the enemy big thing to go, it could be massive. 2 points, bit expensive for what it does, but that could save a game really.
2 points. It's quite situational.
Yeah.
And you can really mess up your opponent, like going up and pinning something.
It's very scenario friendly, you know. If they're trying to get to a certain point before you do, or something along those lines, if you can zoom somebody over to that guy and stop him from getting there, you know, open the door or whatever it happens to be.
The problem here is it costs an action to pin someone down.
Yeah. So you're not going to run so fast to do it, are you?
You've just mentioned the 2 actions you're going to do. You're going to run over to someone, pin them down. That's it. Your turn is over. So it is a sacrificial card, nearly.
It is, yeah. But sometimes somebody's got to die to save the plan, you know.
Yeah. You're right though. On the cheaper, this is where you want the grey Tusken Raider to do it, because he can do it. But then you know what? The temptation that you run over to someone, you want to hit them.
You do, but if he's about to dash, if it's Luke Skywalker and you want to run over and hit him, cool. But if he's about to run into a room, the door shuts and he's going to get 10 points a round, you don't want to hit him. You want to stop him going through the door, even if you die next round. You know, the other Grey Tusken Raider should be somewhere else out of danger to retain the points.
He's in the room getting 10 points.
That's it, yeah. So it's because it's not all about, you know, running, especially in tourney play with these scenario maps. It's not always run up and bosh somebody. It's you know, stop them pressing the button on the computer or using the Imperial vending machine or whatever it happens to be, you know.
Oh, I don't know. That's not the way I play. Okay, well, let's go on to that card, Verdict.
Yeah, I like it, yeah. I think if you've got a reasonable number of brawlers or indeed hunters, bring it, because that could save you in a race against time scenario.
I'm not actually as won over with it as you, but I can see its strength. I probably need to appreciate it more and have it used against me, but you know, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And let's go into our last card. We've got Parting Blow. This is a brawler only card. It costs 2 points, and you can have 2 of them in your command deck.
Yeah.
So this is interrupt when a hostile figure exits an adjacent space. Before that figure moves, perform an attack targeting that figure. Then you become stunned. So, you know, it's got a massive, you know, an interrupt.
Yeah.
An interrupt to actually make you, like, and this can break the rule of attacking once a turn or whatever.
Now, the place, just to jump straight to where I've seen this card, and that's on the Royal Guard Champ. 2 of these in a Royal Guard Champ deck, because he's a brawler, if I remember rightly. And every time anybody leaves, he dashes in, or is pushed in by red Imperial officers more likely. Does his thing, and then later on people are like terrified and try and get away, and suddenly he starts pulling out these cards and doing another attack. Well, he does one around because he gets stunned.
He gets stunned, but then some other officer.
It doesn't matter because he can either somebody else will cure him, or when it eventually gets around to his own activation, he can happily spend an action de-stunning because everybody else is pushing him around, making him attack anyway. He's kind of like a puppet, you know. So yeah, I've seen it there. Two points.
2 points is brilliant. I love this card. This to me is just like
Wookiees, it's worth it.
this is a must-have for anyone who's got brawlers on their list. Even if it's a light brawler list, I think that this is one of the cards that actually makes brawlers really strong. It's one of the strongest cards in the game for 2 points, and you can have 2 of them. So, and if you've got 2 of them in your deck out of 15, your opponent should be worried that you've got them there.
Yeah, I suppose because brawlers all generally have a decent close combat attack, don't they?
Brawlers typically have.
That's why they're a brawler, yeah. So you struggle to find a brawler who you couldn't get value out of this card with. In fact, the cheaper the brawler, maybe the better, because you don't care so much that he's stunned and in trouble next round, you know.
Yeah. So you've hit the nail on the head there. You want to have a mid-range brawler that actually works very well for. You know, the guys who what are they? The transition hunters.
Yeah.
Do they have brawler on them?
Oh, do you know what? I can't remember.
I think they do.
I think they have, yeah.
But that works with them because they end up like being 1 square away.
Yeah.
So you suddenly take an extra wound.
Yeah, that's the best guys to use it with, isn't it?
So and they're mid-range.
Take a strain and extra damage and all the rest of it for being right next to them.
Exactly. So there's a lot of benefits to this. What you don't want to especially take this with is someone like Vader.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want him stunned. He's slow enough without getting stunned as well.
Yeah. When he starts losing his actions, because Vader, you want about 10 actions for Vader.
Yeah.
Because he's got his forced choke.
He has to spend 7 of them actually moving anywhere on the board, doesn't he? He's so slow.
But Vader's getting pushed around by those officers, but he's always got so much to do. And what you don't need Vader to do is get stunned.
Yeah.
So that's. I think that the bigger the brawler, the kind of worse this card works for.
Yeah, maybe.
Even your Royal Guard champ, which you're mentioning earlier, I still think it's a bit overkill with him.
Yeah.
Better on the.
I've seen it used with him though. Yeah.
Royal Guard champ's perfect for them.
It's a gamble for the Royal Guard champ player to stun him. It is because
the Royal Guards is what I meant. The Royal Guards.
Oh, them guys, yeah.
The Royal Guards, because they're a mid-range fighter.
Yeah.
They've got reach.
Yeah.
They can, you can afford to de-stun them and move like a good move. So these are the sort of things that you need to kind of take into consideration.
Yeah.
But for the Tusken Raiders, I wouldn't specifically take brawler cards for the parting blow for them, but it does work for them. Green red is a decent hit.
Yeah.
So it works. It works all right.
And any time you're multiplying your attacks or duplicating your attacks is good, isn't it? In this game, that's the idea, really.
All right, let's talk about the models. What do you think of them?
Let me think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're okay. Looks like a Tusken Raider.
I feel
dynamic pose. He's waving his stick or lunging forwards with his stick slung over his shoulder, if you like.
I feel like there should have been an extra pose in there.
What the hell, yeah.
You get 4 of them in the box, and it would have been nice to just have 2 a little different.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Si, because with Stormtroopers, you get tons of Stormtroopers all with the same pose in the core box, and it doesn't matter because they're Stormtroopers, and they're supposed to look uniform, but Tusken Raiders are a rabble. They're supposed to look slightly different, or, they're not supposed to look like Roman soldiers in a nice, neat row.
Yeah.
There should have been a couple of different poses, definitely, yeah. I mean, ideally.
Even slightly different. I feel like maybe I'll put them on the radiator and start bending them out of shape.
What we wanted was two doing what they're doing now, and 2 with the cycler rifles. The old guy shooting the pod racers or whatever he was. That'd have been better, or But we've got the Bantha one coming, so that'll be 2 poses of Sand People, if you like.
I do actually quite like the Sand People pose. It's not 100% identifiable with Star Wars. Do you know what they should have done? The one that stands over Luke and he's cheering?
Yeah, well, that's what everybody thinks of when somebody says Sand People or Tusken Raider, isn't it? They go, guy.
You get the sound effects on things as well. But yeah, I just feel like having 4 in the same pose was a little bit short of what FFG are capable of. And that was a bit of a shame, but not to worry. They got good. I think the good rules. They're solid in the list, but they could be more.
Yeah.
We're always looking for more.
I was suddenly wondering what they look like under the masks. Sorry, I distracted.
No one knows.
No one knows. A secret, is it, right?
I'm sure they look like humans.
Did
Anakin the prequel? Didn't they?
I don't know.
Run around
I'm gonna have to go and find out.
Yeah.
I probably don't want to know, do I?
You probably don't. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again for episode 6.
Cheerio.
Bye.